Everyone. My name is Idamari Fernandez, and the topic that I would like to share with you today is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. When I think about ADHD, I can't help to ask myself whether ADHD is a real disorder or a behavior modification trend. The fact that ADHD has had a significant increase in the recent years has really caught my attention. ADHD has become the most common chronic childhood disorder, which, according to the National Institute of Mental Health, can linger through adolescence and even adulthood. The symptoms associated with ADHD are inattention, uncontrollable behavior, and hyperactivity. But the fact is that the same symptoms can be seen in other health conditions or as a consequence of abuse, neglect, or significant changes in the home environment, which is why ADHD is hard to diagnose and very easy to misdiagnose. Nearly 1 million children in the U.S. are potentially misdiagnosed with ADHD simply because they are the youngest and most immature in the kindergarten class. According to a recent study conducted by Todd Elder, assistant professor at the University of Michigan. What this means is that nearly 1 million children from ages 4 to 18 are possibly taking a medication such as Ritalin, a central nervous system stimulant for a condition they don't even have. One of the reasons, if not the main reason, children get diagnosed around the ages of 6 or 7 is because the recommendations to be tested come directly from the teachers. Sadly, what these teachers fail to acknowledge is that some of the children they actually label as potentially having the disorder are the younger ones that start school at an earlier age due to the month of their birth. Those of you who have children and live in Florida know, for example, that a child has to be 6 years old by August 31st in order to start the first grade. If by any chance a child's birthday falls on September 1st, he or she would have to wait until the following year to start the first grade. It should not come as a surprise then that in studies such as the one conducted by Elder, the children that are misdiagnosed are the younger ones in a classroom. The effect of an age disparity among children in the same class can be observed when the younger ones become easily distracted, inattentive, and even disruptive as they require more time and attention to process the lessons being taught. What is happening is that teachers, overwhelmed by a fast-paced curriculum, which focuses mainly on how well the children do on the FCAT, tend to find themselves with a lack of motivation or patience to better handle these younger children. What do they do instead? Well, they end up referring perfectly normal children for evaluation of the disorder. On the other hand, physicians, frequently pressured by the recommendations of the teachers and concerned parents, not to mention the incentives they receive from the HMOs for minimizing costs, end up cutting corners at the time of evaluating children for ADHD. One of the guidelines for diagnosing ADHD is performing tests in order to rule out other medical conditions exhibiting the same symptoms, such as thyroid disease, hearing loss, and even allergies. In addition, physicians should be referring these children to get evaluated by a specialist in mental disorders, as opposed to writing prescriptions as a quick fix to modify their behaviors. This was the case with Amanda Lane, a parent blogger for Empowering Parents. Her daughter was misdiagnosed with ADHD and put on a medication based on the recommendations of the child's first grade teacher. It was later discovered that Amanda's daughter was actually gifted as she had an IQ of 144. The little girl's excessive energy was actually a result of being bored, and she was way ahead of her class. Some experts claim that the disorder does not exist. For example, Peter Bregan, a New York psychiatrist who has written many articles and books on the subject, explains that ADHD is just a simple list of behaviors that require attention in a class and does not identify a genuine biological or psychological disorder. And what teachers and parents consider as hyperactivity, inattention, and impulsivity are actually spontaneous behaviors of a normal child, such as talking excessively, blurting out answers, making careless mistakes, or being easily distracted. I actually agree with Dr. Reagan's theory that by making an ADHD diagnosis, we totally disregard and stop the search for what's really going on with the child, and that for the most part, ADHD is either teacher attention disorder or parent attention disorder. I truly think that regardless of whether ADHD exists or not, Dr. Reagan's statement is one to consider. All the options and resources should be explored before classifying and treating a child with potentially dangerous and unnecessary drugs. Otherwise, we might end up obscuring a child's true gift. Thank you so much.